Marcus Jackman, pastor at Copper Hills Church in Harriman, Utah. I remember reading Antigone, an ancient Greek play in high school, and our drama teacher, Tom Block, I remember the theme of Antigone as he described it. He said, "That which will not bend must break," referring especially to the king Creon, an artistic depiction below. That which will not bend must break. We've been looking at Proverbs in this series of devotions, and what is it to walk in a way that reflects the Lord's character and values? What is it to have wisdom and to be walking in a wise manner before Him? And one of the things that it involves is a pliable spirit. Proverbs 29:1 says, "He who is often reproved, he who is often corrected or chastened or disciplined, yet stiffens his neck, who continues to resist it, who builds up walls in his heart or his mind to defend himself or explain himself or justify himself against this reproof and correction. He who is often reproved yet stiffens his neck will suddenly be broken beyond healing." See that happen in the Midwest, where I'm from. Eventually, the wind will snap the oak. The reproof, the correction is going to keep on coming. It's going to keep on coming, and eventually the tree must bend or the tree will break. No matter how tall, no matter how mighty, eventually it must break. That's the Lord's call to us, to know we have to bend ourselves. We have to be pliable before His Spirit and His reproof. Sometimes it comes by His word. Sometimes it comes by counsel or by preaching. Sometimes it comes in the testimony of His Spirit to us to convict us of sin. We have to be gentle and pliable and willing to change, willing to bend before His Spirit. Why is that hard? Why is that hard? What's the source of our desire to stiffen our necks when we are corrected? Is there a threat that we feel there that somehow I will become less if I admit my need? I've struggled with that sometimes. Sometimes it's just because I think I'm right, and sometimes I'm totally foolish and wrong about that. But sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's anger. Sometimes it's a desire to point out other people's sins. Well, that's not the Spirit's work. The Spirit's work is to deal with me in my sin. That's what this reproof is about. We can talk about somebody else's later on. Right now we're dealing with me. Where does that fear come from? And when we are the ones who are reproving, correcting, rebuking, chastening, chastising someone else, are we doing that in such a way that's designed and our heart is aligned with the goal of winning them, of getting them to hear us, in order that everybody might hear the blessing of God? Do we rebuke each other in that? Do we correct each other? Do we sharpen each other in a spirit that longs to see the other grow in the grace and peace of the Lord Jesus Christ? I've got my responsibility to have a pliable, compliant spirit before the Lord and His rebuke, to bend before Him and to be shaped by His Spirit. And we have a responsibility to offer those rebukes and those corrections in the spirit of grace, in the spirit of peace, for and on behalf of the one who hears. Go in His grace and His peace today.